Namaste, Kevin, and new moon blessings. Welcome to this mat. If you are brand new here today, my name is Bethany and I am the Yogi Witch. And today I'm going to be guiding you through a really gorgeous 25-minute hip focus flow to celebrate the new moon. So this is the first new moon of 2023. It is a new year, a chance at new beginnings, and in today's practice we're going to really connect with that water element. We're really going to connect with some hip flows, looking at releasing anything that doesn't serve us and looking to welcome in all the things that we deserve and that we desire for the year ahead. So it's going to be a really gorgeous, nourishing, soulful practice. So for today's flow, you can grab anything that you'd like to make your practice more supportive, maybe some blocks or bolsters. And in terms of a little bit of witchiness, you can grab any candles, sage, incense, crystals, anything at all. But when you're ready, Kevin, get yourself set up and I will meet you back here so we can flow and honor the new moon. Okay, so to begin today's practice, you're going to come to lie all the way flat on the back. Take your arms up and overhead and give yourself a gorgeous full body stretch. I'm going to light my sage and start to clear and cleanse this space. So if you work with sage or incense, please know you're more than welcome to light it now. If not, that's absolutely no worries. Please know that I'm sending this cleansing smoke all the way from my mat to yours. And wherever you are, we're going to take a beautiful deep breath in, filling the lungs, filling the belly. And a slow breath all the way out. Just allowing those muscles to relax deeper into the earth beneath you. Starting to bring your full attention to the breath. Feeling every inhale and feeling every exhale. And as I said, this flow is to honour and celebrate the first new moon of 2023. So together as an online coven, we're going to set ourselves an intention. Now, if you work with journaling, you might choose to write down a whole bunch of stuff, or like me, you can choose one word. But all together, we are going to choose one thing we'd like to release from the year gone. So one thing that doesn't serve us, that's maybe been holding us down, weighing us down, holding us back from the things that we desire. Maybe it's been blocking our heart chakra, blocking that third eye, just one thing. And then repeating it a few times to yourselves. I release ... Not just saying the words here, but truly feeling them. Feeling what they mean to you. Starting to wake up that power that you hold within your soul. before we start to bring in a little bit of magic through our movement. By inhaling to reach those arms up and overhead once more, like you're trying to find as much space from the fingertips, the tippy toes as possible. Inhale. And then exhale, slide your hands and your feet over to the left corners of your mat, crossing that right foot over the left. Inhale, we move through center. Exhale, slide your hands and feet over to the right hand corners of your mat, crossing the left foot over the right. And then when you're ready from here, we're going to bend one knee. We're going to bend another into the chest. Wrap your arms around the legs and give yourself a gorgeous rock from side to side. So massaging the base of the spine into the mat. Give it a little wiggle. Before we start to open the hips a little bit more by hands coming to the knees, keeping the big toes to touch, we're going to start to draw a big circle. So taking those knees out to the side, meeting in the middle, and then back round. Beautiful. Almost kind of like you're cutting a pizza. We move and take these circles in one direction. And then we move and take these circles in another. Feeling the base of the spine pressing against the earth. Before hugging the knees into the chest, wrap your arms around the legs, lifting the shoulders, lifting the head. Give yourself a gorgeous hug here, giving yourself a little bit of self-love. Really gorgeous stretch. And then, as always, yogis, your choice. You can roll the body to one side or extend the legs, cross the ankles and give yourself a few rocks forwards and backwards, aiming to come into a gorgeous Malasana pose when you lift up. Hands to the mat and lift all the way up. Oh. Taking some monkey movements from side to get ourselves comfortable here. And remembering this is the beginning of the practice, so maybe those hips are a little bit tight, especially if you know you're emotionally or spiritually holding on to something. And then when you feel comfortable, come to meet me in your Malasana. Maybe having some blocks underneath the ankles, but wherever you are, we bring the hands to prayer and find a lift through the crown of the head. Repeating once more your intention. I release, ... Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, place the hands to the mat. Lift those hips to the sky, briefly coming to the tippy toes. Relax the head down. And then relax the heels. Take hold of the elbows and find a gentle sway from side to side. Relaxing any tension going on in the neck or those shoulders, any stress. Before we inhale, to lift the gaze, straighten out the spine. Yes, exhale, wiggle those feet just about hips width apart. Interlock the fingers behind the back here. Inhale to engage the core, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, roll that body all the way up to standing and find a mini back bend here. So start to slide the hands down the back, pushing those hips forward as you inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, bend through the knees, forward fold, letting those hands hang as far overhead as feels comfortable to you here. Relax that neck. Inhale, we use the hands to halfway lift. Beautiful. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands to the mat, and step back into your first downward facing dog. Beginning to pedal out those legs here. Bending one knee, bending another. Wiggling out those hips, nodding the head yes, shaking it now. Beautiful. Before we briefly come into stillness coven in our downward facing dog, although we're drawing on that water element today especially, we want to connect with that earth element through our fingers and toes, allowing it to recenter, reset ourselves. So imagine your down dog, you're tucking that last rib in, softening the knees to push the hip bones higher. We hold for 3, for 2, beautiful, for 1, bring the big toes to touch. On your inhale, reach that right leg nice and high to the sky, point the toes, see how high you can take it as you inhale. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest and immediately step between the thumbs. Pivot that back foot to come parallel the back of the mat and roll all the way up to meet me in warrior 2. So bend deep into that front knee, squaring the hips and the chest off with the side of the mat. Rolling the shoulders away and start to root down here. Finding length through the crown of the head. Such a powerful pose, both physically and spiritually. Remembering always one hand in the past, one hand in the future, and the heart in the present moment. Inhale. Exhale, extend front leg. Reach arms up and overhead. The left hand's going to take hold of the right wrist here and start to pull it back like you're taking a little side body stretch. Before we pivot from the hips, keep front leg extended and meet me in a gorgeous whoop Trikonasana pose here. Keeping the hips lifted, pulling that top arm to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, bend into the front knee, roll back to warrior 2. And then this time we're going to interlock the fingers behind the back. Pop this chest open as we inhale. Exhale, bend deep into that front knee. Come into a gorgeous humble warrior here. Again, letting those hands hang as far overhead. Keep bending into that front knee, feeling so strong. Inhale. Exhale, press off front foot. Keep the hands interlocked as we bring both feet parallel. Inhale to open up that heart. Exhale, shift weight to toes. Forward fold. Almost as if you're aiming for the top of the head to come to the mat. Inhale, coven, halfway lift. On your exhale, we're going to gaze over to that left foot. Hands come to frame it as we make a gorgeous transition to a twist. So pivoting both feet to face towards the back of the mat. Right hand stays down, pull the left arm up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, wiggle that left foot just outside of the mat. Pivot onto the side of the foot, stay here in a gorgeous kind of lizard twist. Or drop that right heel over to the right hand side. Reach that left arm to the back of the mat. Hold your lizard for 3, for 2, and 1. Place left hand back to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Taking a few pedal outs of those legs. Remembering at any point you can drop those knees to come to rest, or you can keep flowing with me. But when you are ready, you're going to bring the big toes to touch. Inhale to lift left leg as high as it can go to the sky. Point those toes. We inhale. Exhale. Draw the knee to the chest. Step between the thumbs. Pivot that back foot to come parallel the back of the mat and roll in to your warrior two. As always, adjusting my leggings and bend deep into that front knee. Taking your time to adjust yourself here, squaring the hips and the chest off with the side of the mat. Feeling strong here. And maybe using this time as you root through your warrior, connecting with the earth below, the heaven above. Remind yourself of the intention that you set, what it is you want to release in this new moon. Inhale. Exhale, extend the front leg, reach arms up and overhead as right hand takes hold of the left wrist and find a side body stretch in reverse warrior. Inhale. Exhale, release the hands and pivot in to that gorgeous triangle pose here. Gazing up towards those top fingers, keep the top hip and the top shoulder pulled back. Inhale. Exhale, bend deep to the front knee. Roll back briefly to warrior two. Before we interlock the fingers behind the back, pop this chest open and forward fold, humble warrior. Inhale, lift the gaze. Beautiful movements, Coven. Exhale, pull those hands to help lift the body up. And then we bring both feet parallel, ready to explore wide leg forward fold. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, forward fold. Letting those hands hang as far overhead as feels good to you. Rooting down through the back heel as you shift your weight to the toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, gaze over to that right foot. Hands come to frame it as you make a gorgeous transition into a twist. So pivot on the toes, they face the top of the mat. Left hand stays down. Pull that right arm briefly to the sky. Remember, you can stay here or you can pivot that right foot outside of the mat. Move on to the side of the foot, drop left heel over to the left hand side and reach back here. Holding for 3. Holding 2. And 1. Yes, you've got it. Right hand comes back to the mat. Make your movements and meet me down in or back in your downward facing dog. Pedaling out through those legs. Beautiful. From here, we gaze all the way between the thumbs and we're going to step back into that Malasana pose. So step right foot outside of the right hand, left foot outside of the left hand. Bend the knees, take your monkey movements as you move from side to side. Finding a gorgeous fluidity. Before we bring the heels in, start to sit lovely and low, coming to sit on a bolster or block, hands to prayer, and find a little lift here. Inhale. On your exhale, find that power in the legs as you press through the feet and lift all the way up. Sweep those arms up and overhead. And then exhale to forward fold, wiggling the feet to about hips width apart. Find the elbows, relax the body down. One final peak pose here to explore the hip openers, a little back bend. We're going to come to a sugarcane pose. So moving first through a standing split, we're going to reach that left leg nice and high to the sky. Shift your weight to the right foot. Right hand walks forward as you bend into left leg. Left hand reaches around to find the foot and open up into your back bend. One of my favourite poses of all time. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale. Left foot meets right. Switch sides. Reach right leg nice and high. First to standing split and then reach back to take hold of the foot and explore sugarcane. Inhale. Exhale. Relax right foot by left. Forward fold. Inhale, gaze forwards. Exhale, wiggle the legs to touch, bend into the knees so the heels start to lift up. And briefly come into a little bit of a toe stretch here. You can intensify this pose by allowing the knees to come to rest on the mat, or you can soften it by lifting the knees up and using the hands to support you. Just stretching out the feet, maybe making a fist and taking some wrist rolls in one direction. Some wrist rolls in another, any kind of movement of the neck and the body. Beautiful. Before hands come to the mat, wherever you are, lift the knees back up and move to sit on your sit bones, bringing the knees to the chest. Best transition of them all in yoga. We roll all the way on to our backs, hugging the knees lovely and close to the chest. Taking a gorgeous stretch here, a spinal twist, and also closing off those hips. You're going to bring those arms into a T shape, bend at the knees. I'm going to cross that left leg over the right. You can cross the ankles in a double hook or just stay in a one hook. But from here, you're going to allow the knees to fall all the way over to the right hand side of your mat and gaze to the left. It's quite an intense stretch, so breathe through it. Inhale, engage the core as you move through center, untangle the legs and take it to the other side. Allow them to fall over to the left hand side. Gently bring those knees back to the center coven. Wrap your arms around the legs. Lift the shoulders, lift the head, squeeze it close. Give yourself that love, that sense of gratitude for coming to the mat, for taking time for you. And then when you're ready, wiggle your way into Savasana, bringing the knees to touch and walking the feet to the edges of your mat. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And a slow breath all the way out. reminding yourself here for the final time of what it is you are choosing to release in this new year. Almost like tar, feeling it pull off your chest. And then to close our practice, we're going to choose one thing we'd like to welcome into the new year. Maybe you've just chosen one word, a feeling, an emotion, maybe a situation. There's no right or wrong answer here. But repeating out loud or in your mind, I welcome in ... Now, if you're craving longer in Savasana Coven, please know you're welcome to stay here for as long as you like. Press pause on this flow, the beauty of online yoga, and just relax. If you're ready to come out, then slowly allow the knees to fall to one side of your mat, keeping the eyes closed as you lift the body all the way up and come in to a comfortable seated position. Rolling shoulders away from the ears, flipping the hands towards the sky, drawing in this healing energy of the new moon. Before we close the practice by bringing hands to prayer at heart center, bowing low, blinking the eyes open, and bow even lower with gratitude and love to Mother Moon for the healing energy she's lent us today, to ourselves, the strength of our minds for coming to the mat, and as always from me to you, thanking you for allowing me to guide you through today's yoga practice. I really hope you enjoyed taking time for yourself, honouring the new moon and setting some really beautiful intentions for the year ahead. Never forgetting how powerful, how magical and how damn inspirational you are. If you enjoyed this flow, Coven, I would really appreciate any sort of support for my little channel. Maybe a like, a comment or a cheeky subscribe. And don't forget, I do upload 2 moon-based flows a month, one for the full moon and one for the new moon. So keep an eye out for those. But hoping that this new moon brings you everything that you desire and everything that you deserve. From the bottom of my heart, blessed be.